Oh, you really? I would say oh, good job. Didn't get any further. Yeah, it's a good job I didn't get very far.
You need a phone right a bit or?
Only live up the road.
Sure.
Thanks very much for stopping though. Cheers, bud. Come on, girl. Not far now. What's wrong with it now? Christ. Hey internet, so right, so I'm thinking of renaming the channel from Rideable Classics to I don't know, something to reflect the difficulty that people have trying to ride classics. So let me just spin you around a bit. As you can see, garage is a bit trashed. You'd think I'd learn by now about putting dates in diaries. So currently the Transalp's out of MOT and I can't get it MOT'd. The Duke was there, it is there because I commuted on that the other day, really nice. And yesterday I thought I'd get my lovely 550D1 out. Let's just adjust the camera there so you can get a bit of a nicer look at it. Get my lovely 550D1 out, and because it's MOT and tax exempt, I keep it insured, so there's no, there's never any issue with that. And I didn't even get out of the village and it broke down, and I had to push it home up a hill, and I've got a pulled shoulder. So yeah, great. And it's really quite heavy. They were made back in the 80s where everything was made out of iron, I think, and boy, I tell you what, I'd rather push the KTM up a really steep hill than push this on the flat sometimes. So yeah, cut out completely, and I'm just going to show you what the issue was. Right then, so it was an electrical fault that caused it to cut out yesterday. I just put these on after testing it yesterday, so don't worry about that. I'd got about 3/4 of a mile maybe, and everything just went off. The bike just died. It just died to death. So there was nothing I could do at the side of the road really. So I came home, pushed it back, and I thought it's going to be a fuse or something like that. And I suppose this is another one of those cases where you're reliant on other people, aren't you? Or maybe that's my naivety, you know. When I got the bike, it was 99% there really, and I just, well, to get the bike commissioned, I don't know if you recall, but I went through every nut and bolt, making sure everything was torqued up properly. There was a lot loose. I changed the rear shockers, I put new ones on, because I thought the bike was sitting rather high, and I think what that is the seat has been padded so well, it's so firm, there's no squash in it, so you don't drop any height at all when you sit on the saddle. Anyway, one of the things I didn't do is pull the fuse box out and go through the electrics, and I really should have done, because they were really quite manky. I mean, as you can see here, the state of the starter solenoid, I mean, it still works, it's still fine, but it obviously hasn't been very well looked after, as it, all of these needed cleaning up, as it was yesterday. After I got it back and after I temporarily sorted the problem out, I cleaned these up enough, just so I could make some, just so I could do some testing. But the real issue was in the fuse box. So if you pop the fuse box, for those that remember the D1s, they were very high specification, very high tech, 3 inline fuses. As you can see here, these are quite corroded on the end there, but I've tested them with the voltmeter, and they are still good, the fuses are still good, but this one wasn't. So what I imagined had happened is these are, they'd probably rotted out at some stage, rusted away, whatever, I don't know. And so some bright spark had got them like this and taped them up like that, and they'd put one bit of insulating tape in the middle, and then they'd taped them around it, and then they'd stuck a bloody spade fuse in the top of the two connectors, and then just shoved it in the box and closed the lid. Well, when I mean, these don't look too bad now, do they? I mean, they look quite clean, and that's because I cleaned them up just to try and confirm that this was the issue. You can see the amount of melting on here, so I think they've actually been touching. or there's definitely been some shorting. So the fuse that I removed is this one. I don't know how well you can see that, but I mean, one of the little legs has melted off completely. The other one is burnt to a frazzle, and the actual plastic is completely bubbled up and melted there. So yeah, that was the reason that the electrics packed in. So all I did yesterday, just to test the theory, really, I mean, it's pretty obvious what it was, but I just wanted to absolutely make sure. So this is a fuse box. Now this is on the French D1, or this was on the French D1, which, you know, is still in 1,000 bits, but it's, you know, a very simple fuse box. Now I haven't seen one like that on the 550 D1 before, but you know, I haven't seen that many of them, so I might be completely wrong. Maybe the slightly later ones had this fuse box on because this was such a crap idea. I don't know. But anyway, so I nicked this, and then it is just spade connectors in the bottom. So, you know, I picked the one with the biggest rating, which on here was only a 20 amp fuse. I think this is meant to be 30. Connected both to that, instantly got a neutral light, bike fired up straight away. So I left that in and went for a test ride. I also did clean. It's like saying, I mean, these will be super clean when I finish them today, but cleaned these up just to make sure that there was no issue. So what I've done today is I've ordered some inline fuses. They're not right. I mean, it's not. I mean, if I get another one of these, it's going to be probably worse condition or the same condition. So I'm going to replace them with proper inline fuses, spade type. So I've ordered some. I'll try and reuse the box to give it some, well, if nothing else, a bit of authenticity, but also to keep them nice and dry. And we'll see. They haven't arrived yet, but you know, we'll get them done today. Because, you know, I want the bike on the road, and every time I go out on this bike it bloody breaks down and it's infuriating. And, you know, some of you probably say, yeah, well, it's your own fault, you should look after it better, or you should do more. But it's that thing, isn't it? It's a continual maintenance on these old bikes to keep them going. I mean, you know, I'm probably going to get critiqued for the state of the wiring on here now, but, you know, at least these connectors are good and tight, but I will go through everything everything that's here whilst I've got it off, and give this a good clean up and just make sure it's right. I just want to be able to go out on it and know that I can do 20 or 30 miles and come back. So the other thing, so I pushed the bike home, and it's like I say, I've done my shoulder in. I don't know what I've done to it. It's like a, I don't know, rotator cuff issue or something. Anyway, so I've done my shoulder in, I pushed the bike home, and it was really hot yesterday. I've got my leathers on, I was boiling. So after I'd had a rest for half an hour, I came and had a look at the bike and sorted the electrical problem out, you know, in a temporary fix, just to prove the point. And I thought it hadn't got a lot of fuel in the bike. I like to keep it with quite a lot of fuel in to make sure that the tank corrosion stays at bay. You know, if they've got fuel in, they don't generally tend to corrode, do they? Anyway, so I thought I'll nip into Market Drayton, 5 miles, fill it up, and then come back again. And if that's you know, successful, or you know, if I do the trip without breaking down, I'll consider that to be a result. Went down, filled it up with E5. And it had been on reserve, put the tap back into on, and seemed to run fine. And I thought, well, I'll give it a run down the bypass, you know, just so I can stretch your legs a bit. And blow me, it starts spluttering and banging a bit. I'm thinking, it feels like it's running out of fuel. It's got to be something to do with the tap. So I put the tap back into, well, no, it's actually at that stage it seemed to clear. But I was going to go a bit further, and I thought, no, what I'll do is I'll just come straight home and, you know, have another look. And get to a roundabout. Going round the roundabout, I'm going I'm actually turning. I'd actually already gone across the roundabout, so I'm coming back. I'm turning right at the roundabout. It's a mini roundabout. It's really busy. I'm coming around the roundabout. The damn thing cuts out. I've got a car right up my tail, and how she missed me, I don't know. And I just pulled the bike to the side of the road, and yeah, it just cut out all over again. And it's the fuel tap again. Last year, or was it last year, or maybe even the year before, I went out on it, and on the way back from Wales, I had all these problems with the fuel, and I thought that doing a refurbishment of the fuel tap would be enough, so I bought one of those kits off eBay. I mean, maybe it's the kit, maybe it's how I fitted it, I don't know, but anyway, so when it cut out yesterday, put it onto reserve, fired up no problem, and drove home. So there's obviously something still wrong with the fuel tap. I've reached out to somebody on eBay who does well, they're non-genuine, but they do fuel taps for everything, pretty much. Anyway, so I'm sort of chatting with him backwards and forwards about trying to get a fuel tap. Look, I did find a few new ones, and they're like £100, which is quite a lot of money for a, you know, a genuine part. I suppose they're getting really difficult to get hold of. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with that at the moment. I've got to do something with it, again, because I just don't trust the bike. I don't trust the bike to go anywhere on it. So yeah, we're going to have to get that done. So electrics today, get that sorted, and as long as I leave it in reserve, the fuel tap is fine, but we are going to have to do something about that before I really do any sort of mileage on it. Right, okay, let's get the electric sorted. So, in a bit of a state, and what this lovely sticky insulation tape is hiding. It just goes horrible. It's not really hiding anything by the looks of things. Okay, so my fuses have come. They're a little bit bigger than I was expecting, if I'm honest. And some little fuses too. Look at these bad boys. I just don't know. I mean, good size, aren't they, you know, nice and modern. So, as you saw, the parts came, good Amazon delivery again, and we've at least done the electrics. I know maybe some people won't like how I've done the electrics with using those block connectors, but you know, I think with those new inline fuses, it's going to be better. and I've got a little selection of fuses to go in the bike. I've just got to sort out some sort of tail. They used to have a box, I think, in the actual tail piece that you could put stuff in. This one hasn't got one for some reason. I'm sure they did, I can't really remember. Now I haven't got the other one to look at, and I can't find anything on the other D1, so I might be wrong. I might be wrong about that. But anyway, so the electrics are done as far as I'm concerned, and I think they'll be alright. Yeah, so sorry about that. I have just been rummaging, you know, to see if there was some sort of insert box, and I've come across the other fuel tap, or the fuel tap for the other D1 with the little, you know, little mesh section. So I don't know, I might have a go, you know, refurbishing this and then fit this and then see if this is any better. It's not seized up or anything, but you know, it's been a while since it had any sort of fuel going through it. So maybe that's an option if I can't get this chap, because I mean he's asking for different measurements and stuff, and I'm not too sure what he means. So we'll have to have a look at that another day. And I just realised as well, I didn't put it onto reserve, I put it onto prime. Now I believe that the difference is with prime it's not relying on any vacuum, so that's something for me to check before I, you know, throw everything at the fuel tap. But I'm sure the vacuum pipe's on and it's okay, but we'll have another look at that, or we'll have a look at that another day, not today. The other thing I have to mention is I must apologise for all of my foul language from when I broke down on the D1. You know, I bleeped it all out, but you know, there isn't really any excuse for that sort of language. But if nothing else, I think it probably reinforces to you my level of frustration. I mean, going round that roundabout when I thought that woman was going to hit me and the bike just cut out, geez, you know, I could have come a right old cropper there. And I do think sometimes the bike is trying to kill me, maybe a bit of a Christine moment, you know. I do still love the bike, I just don't trust it at the moment, but I think we just need to get on, I need to get on top of all these little jobs and certainly sort that fuel tap out. So I think I might do that. I might just order another refurbished kit or whatever they're called for the fuel tap, and then have that one apart, give it a really good clean and everything, and then swap the two taps over just to see if that is the thing. But other than that, it goes really well. As you could see, you know, when I was overtaking that truck going down the bypass, you know, it's got plenty of oomph. Not half as much as the 600R, but you know, it's still not bad for a 40-year-old motorcycle. Anyway, enough waffle. It's been a long video today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it sort of got back to a bit of the roots of the channel, really, fixing up old bikes that will keep letting you down. It is such a nice example though. I do want to get out on it and do some more miles on it. So thanks very much for sticking with me. If you haven't already, please like the channel, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. And you know, if you tick the little bell thing, you'll get notifications every time I upload a new video. But okay, thanks very much for sticking with me. I'll see you all soon. Okay, bye.